Come on! Nostradamus' prophecies have been subject to multiple interpretations over the centuries. Although he never specified exact dates, some scholars have linked his quatrains to events that could happen in 2026, and many of them have asked for my collaboration to confirm this list of 10 prophecies. Why? Because I was the only one, and I repeat, the only one who correctly analyzed the prophecies of this famous French apothecary. And I predicted in my video last year the death of Pope Francisco and many other events that happened exactly as I said, just as I published it. Of course, I promise I won't let you down by reading you entire quatrains. We'll get straight to the important part, but I warn you, don't even think about missing the ending. Why the last prophecy? Maybe it's talking about you and you don't even know it yet? I am El Documentalista, and this is the 10 prophecies of Nostradamus for the year 2026. From the shadows to the light, from mystery and intrigue, touching on even more taboo topics. And I discovered in the midst of stubbornness that parallel worlds exist. And through my mistakes I learned humility, making a pact with the heavens. I am El Documentalista. Worse than a war. When the light of Mars fails, 7 months of great war, evil people. This is the prophecy that is most often mentioned by so-called experts. And everyone says that there will literally be a 7-month war, but they're wrong. A deep analysis reveals that it's very different but still the same. Or even worse, let me tell you. Nostradamus talks about a royal class. Royalty and the number 7 are related. Because the power of a king, according to Nostradamus himself, comes from God, and the light of Mars refers to the purifying fire. So there is no such 7-month war. What will really happen is that a king will die in 2026. And will the funerals and the succession of his heir be the setting for the most powerful men on the planet to gather? It is exactly in that place and moment where the union of powers will occur, which will spread evil throughout the world. Because the expression evil people was misinterpreted, Nostradamus was not literally referring to bad people, but to a seed of malice. An absolute evil that will be engendered during the time that the rites and royal ceremonies last. This could refer to a new alliance between nations that will end disastrously for the world, or the conception of a child or the announcement of a pregnancy, a human being who, even before being born, is destined to be the living embodiment of evil. The great ship sinks, the red adversary will pale with fear, putting the great ocean in great terror. About this prophecy, everyone talks about a naval war conflict. It's no wonder, considering the growing tension between countries considered red or pro-socialist and those that are pro-capitalist. Since the interpretation is correct, it can be said that in 2026 there could be an event of worldwide magnitude. Or maybe the reveal of a secret weapon that establishes a new order on the seas. Or, even worse, that the pressure on a nation considered red becomes too great, and its leader, frightened, makes a grave mistake. This 2026 indeed, a large vessel will be destroyed, and that will start a conflict where control of the oceans is at stake. The unexpected storm, the dry earth, great floods. When they appear in 2026, natural phenomena will give no respite, but they may not be so natural. Let me tell you, according to Nostradamus, after intense heat that completely dries out part of the planet, the rains will fall with such intensity that entire populations will suffer from floods. Could they claim too many victims? The word Viluvio is not random. Some interpret that the drought will be the sign that appears for the formation of the atypical storm front. Meanwhile, it cannot be ruled out that perhaps a new technology or weapon will be tested in a desert, and from that, an atmospheric change will occur that unleashes the disaster. But what if this thing that is supposed to appear comes from another planet, and as many seers have claimed, creates a huge storm in its wake? That's right. As I've already told you, the powerful Catholic Church has a circle of psychics called the Eyes. And according to classified reports, many of them have seen colossal clouds forming, and behind them, an extraterrestrial ship emerging. The lost generation, smokeheads, the great noise, it puts everything to sleep. A great explosion will shake the world in 2026. We believe that the coming year will be decisive in the reactivation of atomic tests, but there are other possible interpretations. In my opinion, the term smokeheads, which is ambiguous in the original French of the prophecy, could refer to something completely different. Of a new artistic, musical, and popular expression movement that seeks to completely separate the younger generations from the control, advice, and guidance of adults. Yes, that's right, just as you heard. In 2026, a new youth revolution begins. It won't be tied to the utopian idea of wanting to change the world for the better or of radically transforming the system. None of that. It will be aimed at completely separating from reality. As always, it will start with an event related to a prominent personality. Maybe he will introduce a new technology that allows him to listen to music in a more immersive way. A new chemical product or all of that together? The truth is that, just as the prophecy says, people's heads won't be filled with ideas of equality, fraternity, and liberty, like in past revolutions, but with flimsy slogans tied to the idea that nothing matters anymore. Not even living in the present. And what will emerge with great noise will put everything to sleep. The lost generation will have arrived. The heads of one will soon be among us. Darkening of the sun and signs from the sky. From the east it will darken toward the meridian. Barbaria trembles. In 2026, a technological or extra-cosmic event will occur that comes from the east. The word will darken. It is not interpreted as a loss of light, but as artificial interference caused by an unknown agent moving toward the center of the world. The meridian is the veiled description of an entry advancing in a straight line across the planet, interrupting signals and casting a terrible shadow. That tremor of barbarism would be the initial panic of those who immediately think that something non-human is approaching and moving with surgical precision toward a marked point on Earth. But since we cannot claim that we are talking about extraterrestrial beings, we must consider that this prophecy may refer to our own creations. And the meridian, the center, will be interpreted as human beings. So one possible interpretation would be that the sun will be darkened by thousands of flying objects in the air, which will turn against the men of a region. At that time, Nostradamus, who grew up in a Jewish family but was Catholic, would consider them barbarians. That is, outside the reach of the church and the influence of Central European cities, for example. You won't see this on any other channel. It could happen that in 2026 you get swarmed by drones, thousands of them after a malfunction or a hack. They spread terror by covering the sky of an eastern city, falling or attacking humans. One thing is certain, what comes from the east doesn't bring light but fear. Alarming losses. False sacred house, infidels cry by fire. 2026 predicts the breaking of a false temple. During the last few years, millions of people have placed their faith not in the Lord of the heavens, but in money. A gigantic bank collapses, or maybe a major crisis linked to cryptocurrencies or a new power intervening aggressively in the stock markets. It will generate complete financial panic. The fire won't refer to a blaze but to the losses of those stocks in which many have placed their faith as if they were the true religion. As in every crisis, there will be winners and losers. It has happened before, and it seems we don't learn. Extraordinary profits usually don't last very long. Collapse of a good leader, tears for a great boss, dead comfort, shadows that snatch away. In 2026, a beloved leader will announce a major step for humanity. Maybe new medicines or a lasting source of energy, and it continues to be destined to improve the lives of billions around the planet. However, it will not accomplish its mission. He will be attacked, destabilized, or even directly assassinated and replaced by someone else who will reverse the intentions to benefit the people. The fallen one will be called a liar. And soon all progress will come to nothing for the sake of powerful groups that will defend only their own economic interests. The new old species, a mother, remembers herself scattered over the orchards, light to those in white. In 2026, science will be glorified, overshadowing religion. A serious mistake. An extinct ancient species will be revived. Seemingly harmless, it will cause a huge commotion. The race for media-driven results among the powers for genetic dominance will have begun. Nothing good will come of this. Then, dormant viruses, old plagues, and creatures from the seas will be artificially reactivated, but they will only show us those adorable species to which we will react positively, while the deadly ones will be stored as developing weapons for which we have no defense or known cure. Skilled females capable of being carriers of these rebirths will be selected for experiments. Like seeds falling into the fertile furrow of an orchard, one after another they will give birth to different species, for the glory and fame of the arrogant scientists who do not intend to stop. The powerful machine rises. From the west, divided peoples and a soulless king lay down shame. Will 2026 be the rise of artificial intelligence as a decision maker? We're talking about powerful superintelligences in key roles like ministers of political power, in sectors that require planning and execution of measures, that a human would be condemned just for thinking about them. Under the argument of a plan that benefits everyone, the division between ethnicities and cultures within the same country will deepen. The political artificial intelligence will present the reforms with strong arguments to avoid an alleged identity collapse. Will the old formulas of Europe for Europeans or America for Americans be revitalized, without guilt or moral conscience? Their decisions, which would previously have been considered extreme and controversial, will enjoy good press and support among the more conservative populations. Soon, hundreds of politicians will try to replicate this experiment for similar results. And more machines will be appointed to positions in governments and will rule our destinies without humanity. Ourselves? The one who arrives with Los Angeles. The long veil falls and evil appears, armless towards him, son of heaven, 14 wings surround him. It could be yourself, why not? As we have seen in this 2026, evil will spread throughout the world, generating events that weaken people's faith and their natural inclination to take refuge in their beliefs. But hope will also come. A new voice will rise among humans, a leader who will have the protection of the spirits of good. Evil cannot touch him, and he will give unmistakable signs of being a messenger of God to bring light where darkness walks triumphantly in the hearts of people. This is no small thing. We can say that the coming year will bring a prophet, someone who doesn't know it yet but will be called to join the impressive list that already exists. From Isaiah to John the Baptist, 7 angels will have one by his side for each virtue he defends and teaches. Should we not expect the robe and long beard of someone walking and shouting in the desert? Is this prophet a man or a woman of this era? Someone who could be watching my channel right now without suspecting that soon, very soon, the messenger from the heavens will appear before him. Hey, before you, in a dream, in a vision, or in the words of a stranger. Those words will force the chosen one to make a decision. If you accept, the path won't be easy. That's right. Being a prophet of God means carrying a message that almost no one wants to hear, challenging kings, priests, and crowds, and constantly walking between divine obedience and human rejection. A prophet lives under enormous spiritual pressure, knows things that others are unaware of, sees dangers that don't exist yet, and receives commands that can separate him from his family, from his comfort, from his own will, or from his own audience. He must speak, even when his words provoke ridicule, persecution, or even death. He must remain pure when everything around him is corrupted, and he must endure the loneliness of being the only one who has seen what is coming. Being a prophet is undoubtedly an honor, but it's also a burden that falls on the shoulders of the one who will be chosen. To warn, not to please. And if it's you, would you be able to accept to give up everything and say, let God's will be done in me? Leave your opinion in the comments. Use the hashtag prophet. That way I'll know you've made it to the end of this video and that you're a loyal follower of my channel. I am El Documentalista. And this was 10 prophecies of Nostradamus for 2026.